Now that we've created the Lambda function, we actually need to create an API resource and method so we can invoke that function. Let's click on Services. Then we're going to click on API Gateway under Networking and Content Delivery. Click on ACG-SFB. Make sure that the / is selected here. Then click on Actions and Create Resource. For the resource name, we're going to call it S3 Policy Document. And we're going to click on Enable API Gateway Calls to allow other websites to call this function. Click on Create Resource. We can see that our resource is created. Now we need to add a method to this resource. So click on Actions while the S3 Policy Document is selected, and click on Create Method. We're going to select Get from the dropdown, and then click on the tick. Now we need to configure this method. So make sure that Lambda function is ticked. We do want Lambda proxy integration. And we're going to set the region as US to East 1. Now type the Lambda function that we created. Then click Save. Click OK to give API permission to call the Lambda function. And now a new method's created. Now we don't just want anyone to call this method, we only want people who are authorized to be able to use this method. So we need to add the authorizer to this method as well. Click on Method Request, and if you don't have the screen, just click on Get, then Method Request. In the authorization section, click on the pencil, and then select our custom authorizer. Click on the tick to set it. Now go down to URL query string parameters. Click on Add Query String. And in the box, we want to type access token. Then click on the tick. Finally, in the HTTP authorized request headers, we need to add a header called authorization. Then click on the tick. Now that we've added everything for our new API resource, we need to actually deploy the API again. So click on the Actions tab, and then click on Deploy API. Select your dev stage, and then click on Deploy. Awesome, now our API is deployed and we can actually now call that getPolicy method. Now that we've deployed our API gateway and we've got the new function to get a policy document, we still need to tell our S3 bucket to enable calls so that sites can access it directly. Click on the Services tab up the top, click on S3 under Storage, click on our Upload bucket, the Permissions tab up the top, and then click on Cause Configuration. Now we need to change all this, so I'm just going to remove all this from this section here, and we're going to go back into the lab4 directory. Now we can see that we've got a cause.xml file here, so let's just open that up. What this is saying is that anyone can make a get and a post request to this S3 bucket. So let's copy all of this. We'll paste it back into our S3 console here. Click Save. And now our cause configuration has been applied. Now let's go test it out on the website. To do that, first of all, we need to go back to our serverless workshop directory. So on Lab 4, go back, click on Lab 3, click on the website directory, JS, and copy this config file here. Now we want to apply this to Lab 4 as well. So let's go back to the Lab 4 directory. Website, JS, we're going to paste it here so that all our config is moving forward. Just click on Replace, and now we've got our config in our website. The next thing that we need to do is open a terminal in the Lab4 directory. Okay, so I've opened a terminal and I've changed into the Lab4 directory from my serverless workshop directory. Now we're going to change into the website directory, and we're going to run an npm install to install all the dependencies. Now that all our front-end dependencies have been installed, we can actually run the website. So let's type npm start. And we're just going to go to our localhost. So go back to the browser, open a new tab, localhost 8100. We're going to log in. Just enter your credentials if it doesn't remember you. And we'll see that we now have this plus button here. So let's go ahead and upload a file. So click on the button, If we go back to the serverless workshop directory, let's select one of our sample videos. Let's select X-Men. After a while, we can see that this loading bar is going on here. So we're just going to wait for it to upload. While that's occurring, let's go to the S3 management console and check out our upload bucket. We can see that we've only got the Disney video in there. With our super fast internet connection and our video editing skills, we can see that the file uploaded very quickly. Let's just click on OK. Now let's go back to the S3 bucket. Let's click on refresh again. Awesome. We can see that there's this new bucket here with this random name. So if we click on that, we can see that our X-Men files have actually been uploaded. Now since we've got the transcoded bucket as well, and we've got that whole pipeline set up, this file should automatically get transcoded as well. So let's go check it out. Go back to Amazon S3, click on our transcoded bucket, and we can see that we've got the same gibberish file name here. So let's click into it, and hopefully, yep, we can see that our file's been transcoded into different formats. Just to make sure that it works, I'm just going to open one and click on the link in a new tab. Sweet, we can see that our video is working and we can actually get to it. Now let's go have a look at the code and see how we got this to work. Okay, so I've opened my text editor and I've navigated to the website directory in Lab 4. For those of you who don't know where that is, it's just in Lab 4 in website here. So I've just opened this in my code editor. If we look at the index.html file, we scroll down a little bit, we should be able to see that there is a new button here. So we've got a new button for uploading the video, and then we've also got a progress bar here to show the progress. If we now go to the JS directory, and then the main.js, we can see that we've got another controller here called upload controller, and we're passing the same config that we're doing for the user controller. Let's have a look into how this upload controller works. So open up upload controller here, and we can see that we've got quite a few different things here. We're wiring different events, so we're wiring the upload button. For when you press it, it'll ask you for files, and it'll actually grab the file name of the file that you've chosen. The next thing that we're doing is we're getting the base URL for the API gateway, and we're calling the S3 policy document method. We're also passing through a query string parameter called file name with the file name of the file that we selected. So it might be xmen.mp4 or anything else that you choose. Then we're making a request out to our API to that function, and we're going to get some data back, which is the policy document and all that extra information we went through in the last lecture. We pass that plus the file that we uploaded into this upload function, which is just below here. So we can see that once we're in the upload function, we've got our file and we've got our policy and all the information that we need to upload this file. We're going to hide the upload button, and we're going to start to show the progress bar. In this section down here, we're actually creating a request that we're going to call through to S3. You can see that the data upload URL is our bucket URL. We've got the key, the ACL, the content type, the access key ID, the policy that we created, the signature, and the actual file name that we want to upload along with the file. We append all this information into the data for the request, into the post body, and then we make a post call to our S3 bucket URL to upload the file. If the upload is successfully completed, we call the done function, and that will hide the progress bar and it'll show the upload button and tell the user that the upload finished and it was good. If it ever fails at all, it'll do the exact same. So it'll hide the progress bar, show the upload button again, but it'll tell us that the function's failed or the upload's failed. Now you might be thinking, how do we show the progress of the file that's being uploaded? And the way that we do that is we actually pass through the progress through to this .progress, which is a function down below. We can see that in the request, every time we upload, we're actually getting some information back every tick. We're getting the loaded, the amount that's actually loaded, and the total size of the file, and then we're multiplying it by 100 to get a percentage. With this percentage, we're setting the width on the progress bar to this percentage to show how much we've already uploaded. That's all there is to it. This might be a very simple controller, but in the grand scheme of things, it's extremely powerful. It's allowing us to request a policy document, upload directly to S3, and then it's kicking off a transcoding pipeline behind the scenes that's completely serverless.